you guys back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking, and also share this video. So we are still mourning, commemorating, and also paying tributes to the Nelons band members who actually passed away in a plane incident that happened just a couple of days ago. So right about now, according to a few details we're having, we all know right about now that three members of the Atlanta gospel group, that is the Nelons, actually died in that plane incident in Wyoming, as they were heading to Alaska. The pilot, Larry Hain, and his wife Melissa were among those who lost their lives. Jason, Kelly, Amber, and Nathan, plus their assistant Melody, were also part of the group that lost, you know, their lives in this very devastating incident. The management group, according to the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, said that, a preliminary report stated that at around 1:04 p.m. on Friday, a plane actually lost its control within that area, and because of the bad terrain and weather, then the incident happened. You know, now, according to a couple of details we are still having, Blanco Lirio YouTube channel came out and explained this whole incident. Like, you can listen. We are going to try and get bits from this audio. Blanco Lirio actually stated a couple of details. Trying to get him on here. We actually credit him for this explanation of this whole incident. It's coming up.
Yesterday, on the 26th of July, this PC-12 November 357 Hotel Echo went down over northern Wyoming. 7 souls on board, 7 fatalities, including 3 members of the Nelons family
members.
Gospel Band. Here's what we know so far. My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel. Starting with the Aviation Safety Network, Friday, 26 July 2024, 13:05 local time, Plattus PC-12, owner-operator Haney Enterprises Incorporated, November 357 Hotel Echo, a PC-12 manufactured in 2010, 7 fatalities, north of Gillette, Wyoming. They had departed Nebraska City Municipal Airport and were en route to Billings-Logan International Airport, Billings, Montana.
So
a Plattus PC-12 November 357 Hotel Echo was destroyed when it crashed north of Gillette, Wyoming. The pilot and 6 passengers perished in the accident. Unconfirmed reports suggest the aircraft was flying at 260, flight level 260, that's 26,000 feet, when the pilot reported they were losing control. The airplane was seen in a dive with an average rate of about...
We take a pause. So the pilot communicated to the control room that he was losing control. So when he reported, of course some people are saying that the pilot was inexperienced, because at the moment you report an emergency, you've got to be having solutions because you have lives on board. So but the pilot reported in the control room that the plane was losing control.
30,000 feet per minute at the end of the recorded data. The crash sparked a forest fire. I don't know about a huge forest fire, but it did spark a fire. The data here on FlightAware shows 7 Hotel Echo departing the AFK airport, the Nebraska City Municipal Airport, at about 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and then climbing right up to a cruise altitude of about 24,000 feet on the autopilot, and then climbing later as they burned off fuel up to 26,000 feet, and then encountering trouble just as they crossed into the northern part of Wyoming as they were approaching a line of weather that was moving through the area. If we go back and look at Zoom Earth for about this same time, this is Pacific time here, we can see this line of weather just passing through
had refused to work, and
the area where the aircraft was last seen on radar. The Plattus PC-12 is a very popular single-engine turboprop aircraft with a maximum gross weight just under 10,500 pounds and is certified to operate as a single-pilot aircraft. The VMO, or maximum operating speed of the aircraft, is 240 knots indicated airspeed. Looking at the granulated data from FlightAware, we can see the aircraft departing and climbing out at over 1,000 feet per minute, up to 19,000 feet. and then continuing the climb to 24,000 feet at less than 1,000 feet per minute, which is typical. And then later in the flight, climb to 26,000 feet. And 2 hours into the flight at 26,000 feet, they begin to lose control of the aircraft. 26,000, 25,000, 23,000. Rate of climb initially 490 feet per minute. Rate of descent 1,000 feet per minute. Rate of descent 5,000, 4,500 feet per minute. But it's these turns here. It looks like the aircraft makes several turns before completely losing control of the aircraft. And knots, prior to losing control of the aircraft, they have a ground speed. This is ground speed of 250 knots. Remember, VMO is 240 knots, indicated airspeed. Big difference between ground speed and indicated airspeed. So these are normal cruise speeds. But towards the end of this data here, the ground speed of the aircraft spikes at a high of 316 knots, more than likely exceeding the VMO, or maximum operating speed, of the aircraft. We have yet to see anything of the wreckage of the aircraft, but the first thing investigators will have to find are the four corners of the aircraft. In other words, did the aircraft break up in flight after exceeding VMO?
Yeah, that's
and it's more than likely that it did break up in flight, because the last data point was way up there at 23,400 feet. And if we take the KML data from the preliminary ADSB information and drop it into Google Earth, we can see the aircraft begin a descent from its cruise altitude and then do a series of turns. There's a 360-degree turn to the right, a descending left-hand turn, and then a descending right-hand turn before losing the data.
So basically, those are some of the details we are having in this moment in time. But of course, the National Transport and Safety Board, they are coming out, to make more investigations with regards to this whole incident. But all we can do in this moment in time is continue sending prayers to the family. Already, Dr. Harrison came out and announced the funeral for the three Nelons band members who lost their lives in that incident, and of course it will be held on Tuesday. In this moment in time, all we are going to do is to continue praying for the family, the fans, the friends, and everyone who knew these souls. RIP to the lost souls. Goodbye for now.